Good evening, folks. Thank you very much for allowing me to come to your class tonight to speak to you. I've been on a project for almost 5 years and finally got to the end of it at the end of 2017. And so you are officially the first class, at least in the United States of America, that I'm actually speaking to about a book I just finished. Hopefully, I've given a copy to everybody in class. Hopefully, everybody's going to get a chance to read the book. And I appreciate that you will be reading every page in the book, and hopefully you will learn something from it, and that you will be able to take this with you, and also kind of pay it forward that once you get done reading the book, I'd appreciate if you would pass it on to someone else that you know and get some full mileage out of the book. So I came up and coined a term in my own term that's called a relative state of net worth. And if you're with me tonight, I'm going to attempt to explain what that means. I'll read it and I'll try to explain it to you. It's where you have reached a given net worth in your life where you don't need to stay working 2 jobs. You don't need to be working hard. You reach a point where you can close down a deep amount of your activity and enjoy the rest of your life. That you don't need to stay beating yourself to reach this net worth goal that seemingly keeps getting higher and higher. Why would you do that? Why not declare a self-analysis net worth goal that you can attempt to achieve in your lifetime, and once you get there, you then live a standard of living that is within that net worth goal. So let me go into the book a second, and I'm going to read this to you because this is the fundamental concept of the book. This is the fundamental concept. Relative state of net worth ultimately describes the monetary level of net worth that an individual must reach in their life that provides financial freedom relative to their specific standard of living. I have a line in the book: you can be moderately motivated and still achieve many results if you operate in a structured environment. And so if you're reading this on the plane and you're thinking, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means, again, tie back to being organized. If you're organized and you're in a structured environment, you know what you're doing, you could maybe be an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 of motivation. So if you think, Dave, you can talk all night, but you're never going to motivate me enough to be a 9 or a 10, fine. Just like net worth. I want a moderate net worth. I want you to lead a happy life. I want you to be happy. I want your family to be happy. Your significant others to be happy. The same with motivation. I'm not asking for you to be a 10. I'm just asking for you to operate in a structured environment. And so if you're at all motivated, you're going to get more done than the typical person who's not operating in a structured environment. So again, things that you do and skill sets that you have work better when you're organized, when you're organized at what you do. It still boils down to a big factor. And you know what that is? Is living below your means. It's a concept you've heard, possibly from your parents, from other individuals, but living below your means is tough for most Americans. And the reason why it is the pressure that is in the environment. So you buy a house in a certain neighborhood, while your neighbors then drive cars that look better than yours. So you then feel, I live in a certain neighborhood, I should drive a certain kind of car. You look the way the people are dressed. You then worry about how you're dressed compared to your neighbors, to your colleagues at work. And so essentially what you start doing, you live above your means, and the money that you make, your yearly payroll check, whether it's you and your spouse, single income, dual income, you start spending all the money that you make. and you fall into a trap that has existed for years and years and years, and people way before me have tried to write books and talk to you about this, and so I'm still doing it. But the fact of the matter is, I am trying to take a little bit different angle and take all the composite other issues in self-help that you can achieve this by, you can live within your means, and you just got to think about it. And if you have a plan, a life plan, and goals set up, and you know where you're going, no different to the fact that you decided at a certain point to go to college, that was part of your plan. So money-wise, that's fitting into part of your plan. So you need a plan, and you always need to live within your means. Easy to say, very difficult to implement. From the people that I've consulted for and been around, a very difficult concept to implement. If I can get 50% of this class, the rest of your life, to live within your means, I would have achieved a major feat in doing that. The life plan is the tool that you're putting down on paper to force yourself to manage your life in a certain way. And so you may see that as, well, I don't even like to write things down. Well, to me, that's where you got to start changing some things, where you actually put down things on paper, which then threads back to the fact that you can better self-fulfill them because you actually wrote them down. So everything in the book threads, where I have found that most self-help books, they tell you to do one certain thing, but they don't give you the big picture of how to actually implement everything that they're saying.